Sure thing. You're
Everybody. I'd like to call a city council meeting to order on February 6th, 2024. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Jose, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh, been a while, okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do a roll call.
Councilwoman Wadsworth. Here. Councilman Sandretto.
Here.
Councilman Reed.
Here.
Councilwoman Alcazar. Here.
Thank you. So we need to, I guess, start with the agenda. For approval of the agenda. Do we have any comments or nomination to approve? Or
Nathan Raddick with Akana. I would like to request that we move items for approval 1 through. Sure, I got them all right here. 1 through 10 to consent agenda. These task orders were items that were previous task orders under Spink Engineering, and they're just being transferred.
so 1 through 10
1 through 10
to the consent agenda.
to the consent agenda, as they are items that have been previously discussed.
Right.
Their previous projects that we're working on, and these are just balances that are being transferred over. Yeah. I would also like to request that we add to the executive session discussion of the athletic facility.
Okay,
Eric, what do we need to put that under?
Is that for acquisition of real estate or
Yes,
so?
that's
Okay,
correct.
so that would be 4210, 4230, 110.
Right.
I think it's E or F, or it should be F.
So what's that gonna be on the agenda?
Under executive session J.
or we might put it down first
Was it J?
J1.
at the top of the list.
That would be fine.
Well, we can discuss them however in order. Do corresponding.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve is amended.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wadsworth. Aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar. Aye.
Consent agenda. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda? Or no, by your motion, sorry.
I wasn't here to see the minutes, so
Oh,
I'll take a motion from somebody else
What are the
that those
minutes?
minutes are correct.
where are the minutes?
They're in there. They're in the consent agenda. I wasn't at that meeting, so I can't attest to that. So
Okay.
if somebody wants to make the motion,
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar. Aye.
Thank you. Okay, staff reports. Oh, excuse me, visitor comments. Do we have any visitors that would like to make a comment or come forward and have a 3-minute time period for comments? Okay, we'll continue on to regular reports, staff report, code enforcement.
Jenny McCombs, Code Enforcement, Benton City. So this is for January 1st through the 31st. Public contacts was 391. That's in person, emails and phone. Notice to comply, warnings and violations. Animal control is 16. That's including also compliance with chicken amounts and other items like that. Stop work orders was 4. Junk vehicles 5. Weeds, trash and debris 9. RV trailers and boats 5. Impounded animals was 6. I declared 1 dog potentially dangerous. 4 were transferred to rescues. 2 were returned to owner. There was 1 adoption, 4 welfare checks, and 7 DOAs. Graffiti abatement was 2. Permits issued was 26. There was 2 new single-family residents. Those are the River North ones. They're starting to build out there. 1 duplex, 1 new commercial building out on Dale. 4 new connections to city water, 4 new connections to city sewer, 3 curb alterations, 4 HVAC replacement installs, a roofing, 4 fire inspections, 1 remodel, and a title elimination for a manufactured home. The inspections that were scheduled was 27. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
What do you do in your free time?
That was my one.
Not a lot.
Conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's always a joy to work for Benton City, so.
Thank you, Jenny. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next item are council committee meeting reports.
The, I want to thank, since the last time I was here, I did the Ben Franklin Transit Board of Directors. Well, we are experiencing some turmoil over there. But other than that, everything is pretty well status quo.
Thank you.
I attended the Benton County Mosquito Control Board meeting. It was the first one after the first of the year. We just touched on some things for this upcoming year and hopefully the mosquitoes stay at bay, but they'll be back.
Thank you.
I've attended the Benton County Fire District 2 and Benton County Emergency Management Boards, Board of Commissioners. A lot of status quo, continuing work, approval of work coming up. With Benton County Emergency Management, there is the few changes in the 911 call reporting system. So if you call, instead of calling 911, if you call the 628 number for non-emergency number, they now have a press 1 for this, 2 for that, 3 for that. People are mistaking that for a voicemail. It's not actually a voicemail. They just need to listen a little bit farther and it gives the options. But other than that, the radio transmitter and the electronics on Red Mountain are well in play or well in construction. That's really going to help law enforcement, fire, and public works be able to communicate a lot more effectively in all the dead zones that we have in our area. So increased communications.
Thank you.
We haven't had the Coyote Irrigation District, December's meeting was canceled because apparently everybody was sick. And then we were supposed to do it through email this in January and I never got any responses, so I don't know if it fell through or what. So I have been on vacation, I guess, from there.
I went to the revitalization committee meeting last week and the major item on them is road cleanup on the Saturday, I think the 17th, starting at 9 o'clock, starting at the trailhead for the Rattlesnake Mountain, and they're going to be cleaning up that section of the highway which the city has adopted to clean up. That's my report. Okay. We have a guest here, Jose, asked to serve on the city council. Do you want to come up here, Jose, and they may have some questions for you.
Okay. Hi guys, Jose Valencia. I'm a little nervous. It's actually my first time ever doing this. I'm gonna talk to Mayor Limburton, regarding it. I'm very inexperienced in this, so be gentle, I guess.
Well, you're able to talk, you got some levity, so you're starting off all right. So what information that we've been presented is limited, so go ahead and tell the council about your history and the things you've done in life so far and what your goal is with the city council.
So I don't quite think it's gonna be long-term, just due to the fact that with time, my goal is to buy acreage, right? So currently, I got a business here locally, right? Artesanos Ironworks. We do custom fabrication, and so I have business background, right? But as far as what I've done in life, can you be more specific?
Just what you've done work-wise, business-wise.
It's been mainly construction, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an honorable trade. So you say you're not gonna be longevity with the council. What are you talking there?
Probably not. So it's up in the air, because I mean, so where I'm currently at, it's, Jenny, want to help me out here? What kind of permit is it? The license? Conditional?
What's that?
The license that I have there?
Oh, he has a residential use permit for a home occupation.
Mm-hmm. And so, of course, the plan would be to, of course, one day, make it commercial, but with that, I feel like I'd have to probably move out, but again, it's up in there, I mean, I'm not sure whether it's gonna be, whether I'm gonna be here long term, whether it's gonna be short term.
Well, life is what happens while we make plans, right?
Yep.
It is, yeah.
So, does anybody explain to you what this is like?
Very little.
Well, that's good.
Would you care to explain?
Well, let me start off with, some people will hate you. Some people will like you.
I'm used to it.
It can have long hours depending on what the crisis is, or once you get on city council, somebody knows you are and they call you up at 3 o'clock in the morning because there's a water break. And you're like, did you call the mayor? I tried. Okay. Did you call somebody else? No, I don't have any other number. Well, then you got to dig into your stash of numbers and start calling people, and there's that piece. There's the reading of the packets. You got to get in there and try to decipher. And I know he's going to love this, the legalese the best you can, right? Because there's a lot of detail in there. But the goal should always be to better cities, and think about what the principal demographic and makeup of your town is, and how to make that move forward so that everybody's in good shape. That about sums it up, I think, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add to the council?
I mean, you said it all, right? I mean, to better Benton City, right? I mean, I figured that's the reason why everybody's here. You guys are talking about paving the road for Benton City. You guys were talking about earlier regarding funding for a possible bridge, maybe? Is this what it sounds like?
Well, I'd like to see the county put something in just outside the city, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's better in Benton City, I mean, overall. But as far as my input, I mean, I don't got much input, to be honest, yeah.
Well, I was reading your email here. There's something that you touch on in there that you want to do.
I do. So to be the voice of the Hispanic community, but no, I'm not lying. I'm very inexperienced in this, and so I'd like to see if I could sit through a couple of meetings, and probably pick up from there.
No, I don't know that you're going to be able to sit, but you can you can sit back a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think Diana can attest to this. It takes you a little bit to get your feet under you. And I think everybody here can say this. You don't know everything right off the bat. And some of us that have been here a few years, they're still learning that comes through the process. So
You're always going to be learning, but one thing to learn really quickly is that when you're the newbie, some people speak a lot or ready to jump in, and you can just kind of wait a second, and before you know it, everyone's saying approval and everyone's agreeing or disagreeing. It's an interesting experience. I'm curious to know, you said that you wanted to be the voice behind the Hispanic community. What are your thoughts about how you would do that? How would you get in? I'm guessing, are you bilingual if you want to be
Yep.
part of that? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, don't say ma'am. How do you plan on getting the Hispanic community more involved with Benton City? Have you thought about that? And I asked this because I've tried to get my husband involved and it's very difficult. And so that's why I was curious what your
Yeah.
plan is in that area.
So I mean, I've only been in Benton City for the last 2.5 years now, and in that time frame, I mean, I've gotten to know very well. For example, the owner of V5, the new restaurant over here, Sabor de Mexico. Just mainly the restaurants, right? And of course, I mean, they I mean, that alone, I mean, they're clearly they're Hispanic themselves, right?
Mhm.
You know, I also try to, show up, not, what do they call them? Business meetings, you know, here locally, you know, with Hispanics. You know, what I mean, but I mean, of course, I've never gotten their input, you know, regarding, oh, what do you guys think about the city, you know? But I mean, if it ends up being that I get the opportunity to be part of the city council, you know, with time, you know, then I would like to see how is that I can help the Hispanic community.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know a lot of times Hispanic people tend to want to stay to themselves and then,
yeah, they do.
and I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah, I see that. So that's
Mhm.
why I was just kind of curious.
I don't know, I haven't been this nervous in years.
Everybody gets nervous, especially when they're up here. You'll get over it. And this is our only applicant so far. And not that I'm
I don't blame you.
picking on that.
don't
I
blame
just, we've been vacant for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and move to accept his application to fill the vacancy on the city council.
And I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Sandra, do I
Wadsworth, aye.
read?
Reed, I was actually looking at procedure. Are we allowed to vote at this point?
Yeah, we can.
Alcazar, I.
And
Is
what
it permissible to swear him in tonight, or do we have to wait?
Let's wait, because we need to get, yeah, let me make sure we're okay with that, but yeah, we should be
Okay,
fine.
Okay,
Typically,
okay.
you can vote and swear in at the same time, but
Okay,
since we're
okay.
kind of going out of order,
Okay.
approving.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you offering to do this and to help with the Hispanic community big time.
Well, it's a pretty big step, yeah, appreciate it.
You
Thank
have,
you
you
for the
have, you have,
opportunity.
you have a big shoulders to carry a load, and you can do it.
So it seems, I appreciate it, thank you.
So we see on the 20th to be sworn in. Sorry.
Right. Mhm. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next item is the railroad bridge grant acceptance. And I'm going to let Nathan address this.
If you'll recall, back in March of last year, we were tentatively awarded through HUD a $2 million grant to purchase a railroad bridge. We have done all of our structural assessments. We've completed a biological assessment of the area, cultural resource survey. Those reports finally came in the end of January. Yes.
Sorry for the interruption. For those of you that are joining us on Zoom, can you mute your microphone? Your background noise is coming through to the meeting. Thank you.
Sorry.
Good.
With all of the information that we've received, the only item that's really pending is the price of the bridge itself. But we prepared a resolution to accept the purchase of the bridge, being that's structurally sound, no cultural resource issues, no endangered species issues in the area. So we would be able to move forward with this without any issues to the bridge itself. So we would request approval to move forward with accepting the grant, accepting the $2 million funds while we are working in negotiations. It's the thought, I believe, the consensus of the city administrative staff that a $2 million grant, you know, even if worse came to worse and all it got us was the bridge, is still a grant that gets us the bridge, if nothing else. But, you know, we're anticipating we'll be able to do much beyond that, able to do significant redecking. We've already got the funding for a trail up to it, an asphalt path to it. So I'd like to, you have a resolution number 14, resolution 2024-10 coming up to accept that grant, and that would be our recommendation.
Okay.
Any questions or comments?
You can also get reimbursed for our time.
Yes.
Last year.
I've been trying to do that for the entirety of my time here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item for discussion, we're proposing hiring an assistant wastewater treatment operator to assist Wade. Wade, our proposed wage is 28 to 36 an hour. We have a job description in place for that position. And we're looking for the council's blessing to proceed with finding an individual to work with Wade and assist Wade in the operation of that facility.
Is this an additional person to our
The
staff
additional
count?
person, the staff, yes.
And what's our current staff load for those public works
Public
positions?
Works, we currently have two leads. We have Sergio, Jose, and Wade.
Is that the only staff we have currently out in the field?
Yes,
No, you have Isaac and
or Isaac and Isaiah, right, two others.
say,
Say,
Okay, I don't have a problem with it. Wade needs the help. We've been talking about this way too long.
yep.
Okay,
Make it so.
Concur.
okay. There's requirements in it that within 36 months, they have their level 2 certifications for operating that plant. Okay? As part of the job requirements in that.
Okay.
And just for the record, we have one sister community now that's been advertising for a number of months without the ability to fill the position of a plant operator. They're apparently a pretty precious commodity right now, with the type of people Wade is,
Well, I think in general and
you know.
I think it speaks to a lot of different trades that we're seeing a problem filling positions globally.
Yeah,
It isn't just cities. And you know, some of that's training. Some people don't want to sit through the hours and hours of class that Wade has, right? So those are all things that we fight with. So
okay. Continuing on for items for approval. We covered the first 10 items in the consent agenda. We have item 11 for approval of a conditional use permit that we will have George address.
Good evening, Mayor Burton, members of City Council. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. George Kress, City Planner. Type of action requested, items for approval, conditional use permit number 23-02. On January 25th, Benton City Planning Commission held a public hearing and thereafter unanimously approved the request for a conditional use permit to install a 2024 Palm Harbor, manufactured home with a 412 pitch roof. This request per the Benton City Municipal Code, chapters 20.62020 design standards, requires the main roof of all dwellings shall have a minimum pitch of 512. In addition, under this chapter, exceptions to the design standards may be granted through the conditional use process based upon review of the criteria also listed under Municipal Code 2.70.290. As part of this approval, the commission adopted the findings and conclusions prepared by staff as set forth in action for the conditional use permit 23-02. On January 8th, staff sent out notices to the neighboring property owners within 300 feet of this proposal. This application requires a public hearing and has an appeal period of 14 days from the Planning Commission decision. Again, this past January 2nd, council met at a regularly scheduled meeting to consider this request previously. On January 2nd, a property owner located at 1304 Della Street submitted a letter, which was attached to your prior packet, to council complaining of the lack of notice for this hearing. Subsequently, council reprimanded the CUP request back to the commission for a new hearing with proper notification. And this was done for the this past hearing at the Planning Commission. So we made sure that All the surrounding property owners were duly notified.
Okay, well, that's my only concern with it.
Mhm.
So as far as anything else, you don't need to go into further detail. I was ready to approve it last time, but legally, without proper notice to that surrounding property, we put ourselves in a huge liability.
Yes.
So as long as that's been taken care of and everybody was noticed and had a chance to speak, I motion to approve conditional use permit 23-02 for the installation of a 2024 Palm Harbor manufactured home to be located at 1302 Edith Avenue, Benton City, Washington.
I second.
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, aye.
Thank you. Next item. Resolution number 202408. Ratify the approval of agreement for service with AGS Inspection Solutions, Inc. and ratify the mayor's prior signature thereon. We had an issue develop on the Dale Street project where through oversight, we neglected to enter into a contract for compaction services on that project. And we had to go forward with it because without doing it would stop the work in progress and stop the contractor creating a liability for it. And so we, as an emergency effort, I signed the agreement for the engineering or the AGS to come in and do the compaction studies on the fill of those trenches.
Are they the same people doing the work or is this another?
They've done the work for us in the past, but under a different name. I
Oh.
forget the other, do you remember the name they used to be under, Nathan?
A plus. A plus or A plus, whichever.
So this
They're not the
is,
contractor doing the work.
okay, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Testing company.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nathan apologized for the oversight.
So the company doing the compaction work, that wasn't included and you had to sign for that?
It was not included,
And now we gotta get it inspected.
right?
So what was the change in price on the other?
What?
The change on price for the compaction?
That they're doing the testing of the compaction.
I understand that, but
Right.
the other company you said did not have it in their contract to compact.
Right,
I
No,
want to know,
They didn't have it in their contract to do the testing for the compaction.
okay,
There's
all
right.
no change in the DDB is the contractor doing the work, and there is no change in their contract. because
Okay.
Compaction is included in that contract,
okay.
just the testing for the compaction, third-party testing.
And what's the cost on that? Anybody? Do we know a cost?
it's an hourly rate
Labor
cost in the
rates.
contract. Per fee based how many times that they have to come out, if they have to come out and recertify the testing. And that's one of the problems. I did not know the cost. I didn't even know if it was under 2,500 or more than 2,500.
Okay,
They gave us a fee scale, but no estimate for the in
Mhm.
particular job.
Mhm.
so
And the pricing above does not include taxes.
what's our standard pricing been on that?
Well, it's varying from, I mean, for total cost on the project, it varies depending on how many compaction steps they have to take. For various, locations like the 9th Street sidewalk, it was, fairly substantial because of all the sidewalk and the pavement. Here they just have to do, it's about every 300 feet, they do compaction tests.
But we don't actually have like a price on this.
Right.
No,
And we just have their hourly rates.
Yeah, that was why we recommended, at the time, obviously, it was kind of an emergency situation. We were going to incur quite a bit of cost because of the bid. The project was moving forward. So, but we didn't think it would we couldn't tell whether it was going to be below or above 2,500. So that's why it was recommended to come back to council for ratification so that
Is this fairly common not to have this put in the bid and then to come after the process has already started and then looking for it, or was this just completely an oversight?
It was an oversight.
On whose half? The contractor or ours?
It would have been ours.
It was a candidate.
It was in the bid packet, it was noted that it would be completed by the city. The compaction test would be completed by the city.
I'm going to change the motion. I motion to approve resolution 2024-08 to approve an agreement for services with Aegis Inspection Services, Inc. in a not to exceed amount of $10,000 and to ratify the mayor's signature thereon.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda. A resolution number 202409, authorizing the mayor to sign and enter into the transfer and partner shelter agreement with the Northwest Organization for Animal Health. And you want to address this, Jenny? And
Sure. Jenny with the city. So this Northwest organization is called NOAA. It's over in Stanwood. It's a really good organization. I've actually worked with in the past for decades. But I would like Benton City to have an agreement with them as well to transfer out animals right now. We have a lot of animals and they just keep coming in and they're not really getting out. And so the more openings we have for them, I think the better. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, the big question is, this is just an agreement that doesn't
Oh.
cost us anything?
It doesn't cost us anything. Nope.
And I appreciate that it's a no-kill shelter.
Yes.
When I saw that, you know how I am, and so I went right and started looking up.
Oh,
them.
they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't cost anything to transfer to them. It's a great organization. I think.
Okay, and as the attorney for the city, you've had time to review the
No.
agreement?
Dan has. So no, he's told me it's fine. It's funny because I'm familiar with the organization, having worked that area, but so it's a really nice,
is.
beautiful
Very nice.
place right along the freeway, actually. But yeah, no, he had no concerns.
Okay. Then I'll motion to approve resolution 2024-09 and authorize the mayor to sign and enter into a transfer and partner shelter agreement with Northwest Organization for Animal Health.
I second.
all in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Resolution 2024-10 to approve the HUD grant agreement.
And this is the railroad bridge agreement that we had previously discussed.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it real quick. So I do want to add my 2 cents, just kicking it out here as a statement. I think having that access to that facility and that easement, if nothing else comes of this, as Nathan said, I think it's important to the city of Benton City in the long term. I motion to approve resolution 2024-10 to authorize the mayor to sign and enter into the community project funding grant agreement number B-23-CP-WA-1542 with the Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Benton City Railroad Bridge acquisition and development.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Motion passes. Ordinance 1060. Creating a new section allowing elected official to waive all or a portion of their salary compensation.
Conversation. A motion to approve ordinance number 1060, amending Benton City Municipal Code, chapter 28 by creating a new section 2.28.040, allowing elected officials to waive all or a portion of their salary compensation.
Second.
All in favor?
Sandra, I.
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Motion passes.
Does the
Senator-
asterisk mean that you donate it? Does the asterisk mean you donate it to the city attorney? Is that what that means? I like that.
It goes back in the general. fund.
Oh, darn. I was-
Okay, we will adjourn the regular
Okay.
scheduled council session and come back in 6 minutes for executive session. And then let's try to keep it, let's try to get over by 5 after the hour.
Executive sessions,
What?
or executive session.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, we'll give it a try.
we'll give it a try.
You can always extend.
Somebody said they don't like to stay here all night.
I'm
All of us,
okay
I
with
think
it.
we've
I
said that.
enjoy the company of my friend Carla. Always like
I
to see
love
Alan.
When I did, people knew who I was.
Motion to
Yep.
Do we have a motion to,
You gotta call us back in session.
what?
You gotta call us back in session.
Okay. Calling regular council meeting back in session.
make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Council meeting adjourned.